Number 7, lower circle. Hot range.
Training never stops. Training is one of those things. We have roll call training. We have a computer-based system, our DMS system, that we're constantly rolling out roll call training videos. We're constantly staying up on the state statutes, and quite honestly, in my section, we are constantly looking at situations that happen both here and around the country, and we look at it from a standpoint of saying, how can we do that situation different, better? How can we not quite honestly repeat mistakes that have been made here and elsewhere? And so we're constantly striving to make ourselves and to become better at what we do. No matter, we're not resting on any laurels. We don't sit back and beat our chest and say, hey, we're great. We are continually trying to do better. And quite honestly, our sheriff demands that from us, and he pushes us to be better. And so that's one of the things that kind of, the one thing that I love about what it is we're doing here. We're simulating shooting from the car, sudden assault, just like been recent deputies and police officers have been attacked while sitting in their vehicles. So we're teaching the officers to displace their head off the headrest and to be able to address the threat with their handgun from the seat of the vehicle, dismount the vehicle so that they can address any other threats that need to be addressed outside of the vehicle. Fortunately, we had the ability to take a car that's no longer in service and take the engine out of it and take the glass out of it, so it makes it a little more safe.
Shooter, stand by. Threat.
Downrange.
Keep coming back, back, clear, right? Transition.
I've been teaching at the academy a long time, so a lot of my former recruits that I've taught at the academy have been hired both here at Leon County Sheriff's Office and other places. So I think, one, it kind of makes me realize I'm getting old, and but I have realized that I've been able to see a lot of my former students to literally see a legacy from being a teacher and an instructor. The thing I love is to see that see these folks grow up professionally right before my eyes, literally, and that I continue to be able to have some impact on them. It's an intense, the whole process for a deputy become a road deputy is probably about 6 months long. And then our corrections deputies are the same. They go through very similar programs, and being able to save life and limb, and defensive tactics, being able to defend themselves and make sure that we can do it in such a way that we minimize injury to both the officer and an individual we may have to deal with. They will also go through scenarios, and which those scenarios would be, how would you handle this? And we want to see how they handle it. It is very delicate. It takes a lot of repetitions. It costs, but it also takes not only the physical repetitions, but it takes the mental repetitions. And that's something, the scenarios are something that our deputies can continue to read over and play over in their head, and through the roll call trainings and everything that they do on a daily basis, that is the best way that we have found to be able to train people to be good decision makers. The focus on de-escalation is one of those things that we are absolutely, we have to really look at that, because there are times that we have to show force, but that doesn't mean we have to use it. We're trying to de-escalate from the minute that encounter starts. We are training our deputies to look for opportunities to de-escalate and to have a peaceful resolution. The scenarios will, quite frankly, you're faced with a situation, but when that person de-escalates, we de-escalate as well. We also have to be able to, if that person escalates, we need to be able to escalate at a level that we can keep the situation under hand. And then if they're successful, then they move forward into an in-house program that is right now 6 weeks. And that's an intense training of all of our high liability operations, driving, defensive tactics, firearms, all those things that are high liability. And then we sit them down in the classroom. We teach them our computer systems, how to complete reports, CPR, first aid, and all of those things that we really use day to day, and you really got to be good at. We want the community to be able to see that we are training hard and that we do have a true love for our community, and we want the best for our community as well as our deputies and their families. All of us are creating what we want Leon County to be, and that's a great thing. It's not just the sheriff's office. It's the sheriff's office, it's the fire department, it's the police department, it's all of our community partners together. We're all doing the same thing. We are all trying to be the best at what we're doing and doing it for the best of what we want for our community.